Sheriff Israel, the Broward County Sheriff, of course, the Stoneman Douglas High School is in his district. He came out after this horrible shooting and seemed to claim he led with amazing leadership after this. And we found out later there was some hesitancy to enter the building during the shooting. They didn't respond inside right away. Now we found out that paramedics, according to this legal insurrection story, just one story I pulled, it's in a number of different media outlets, paramedics weren't permitted to enter the school either. Folks, listen, I don't like pylons, but this is serious stuff. This is a sheriff who repeatedly came after the NRA, blamed seemingly everyone but himself for his failure to lead in this incident. I mean, he must have known this. He was clearly either at, close to, or monitoring the scene. There were epic failures from the top down, and people died because of this. And then this sheriff attacks this organization, the NRA, and others, and he cites his own amazing leadership. You know, how is it that government always gets a pass? Why? I tell people all the time, I'm a conservative and a libertarian. Don't for a second equate that with I'm anti-government. I'm not anti-government at all. I never have been. I love our military. I love our court system. I sit there and patriotically put my right hand over my heart every time that flag and that national anthem plays. Don't you dare tell me I'm anti-government. I worked for the government. I was a Secret Service agent, proudly, and a police officer. I'm anti-bad government, and I'm anti-inefficient government. And I'm anti-bad government, especially when it leads to tragic decision-making. Sheriff Israel needs to be held accountable. It's clear he did not respond to this shooting the way he should have. Paramedics weren't allowed to go in either. This was a cascade of failures. Folks, I had a former Secret Service friend of mine on not that long ago, Dennis O'Toole, who has a very specific area of expertise now. He has studied extensively targeted school violence incidents. He is an expert at this. And he will tell you, and he said on this show, we have the interview, maybe I'll play it again sometime. The new training modality for these sheriff's offices and police officers across the country is respond into that incident right away. You no longer set up a perimeter because these targeted school violence attackers are looking to rack up a body count. And if you don't stop them, it will continue. They are trained to respond. Now, some are trained to respond in teams, and some are trained to respond alone. But nobody is trained anymore to stay outside. That's what happened in this horror at Marjory Stoneman Douglas. The sheriff should be held accountable. It is clear he was leading this department, and his actions that day and the actions of the department were horrible. And I don't blame it on the sheriffs who responded. As I said to Grant Stinchfield earlier, and I mean this, I don't believe at all this was due to a lack of bravery on the part of some of the law enforcement officers at the scene. Clearly, some screwed up. I believe it was a lack of leadership, and someone needs to be held accountable for this.